Hello, my name is YasmeenHana, and welcome to this episode of BLISS podcast. The Great Pyramid of Cheops, the King's Chamber. There a few days ago I sat in the darkness with a group coming together as mystics, as those here tuning into what a new civilization feels like on Earth, coming with our hearts and souls ready to be seen before one another in our tenderness, vulnerability, strength, and power. And so, from my experience sitting in the Great Pyramid of Giza, every single sound, every note becomes amplified. And in the past, as I've been in this situation many times with groups in the Great Pyramid of Giza, was that many beings, when they get in there and they hear the echo, the most sublime echo of sound, a symphony, a cathedral of heavenly music, then when one contributes to that, it can become intoxicating. And so it can quickly shift from incredible celestial music to noise. And the pyramid is such a wonderful mirror to where we wish to gift the world the symphony of our soul. We wish to gift the world around us the upliftment, the melody that becomes music from our soul, that harmonizes, that uplifts, that creates beauty. And yet when one becomes intoxicated with their sound, they contribute to a noise which isn't a gift to the space, but rather can become dissonance and out of balance and without harmony. Now, this time in the pyramid, it was exquisite because we went into silence a lot. The crescendo of music would uplift and all the way up into this cascade of incredible tones that listened to each other and then go back into deep silence. And the magic was in the silence, wasn't in the sound. It was in the silence in between the music. The music never stops playing. It sounds in our deep internal worlds when we listen to the sound of our spirit, the sound of our soul. Our prayers can become music, our imagination can become music, and being in deep silence starts to open up portals of music. The quiet silence, the silent mind helps so much to listen deeper. I remember at some moment in the pyramid, my body just wanted to lie down. I was tired of sitting in this straight posture of perfect meditative posture, and I just wanted to lie down and to receive. And I smiled and I smiled. My heart was just smiling. I looked up at the ceiling, and it was as if there was no ceiling at all, but just an open, vast universe filled with stars. And I, for the first time, probably in my life, felt how loved I was by a divine mother, father, that I was truly the child of the universe. It was such a touching experience, because I've had moments in my life where I felt the ideal of being a divine child, that I was loved, but I still could feel I wasn't good enough, or I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. There's things in me that don't deserve to be loved. And as I share that, I just feel so touched to have had a moment, an elongated moment, that for the entire time I was in there, I just felt that there was absolutely nothing at all in me that didn't deserve love. And when I climbed into the sarcophagus in there and lay down, I felt even more. I wasn't just loved by the Creator as mother, father, but I was loved even beyond that by the, call it celestial grandmother, grandfather, the earthline mother, grandfather. And that there was an entire lineage. Truly, I've heard about this. I've heard your lineage cheers you on. They want you to be free. But to have that tangibly felt in my bones as I laid there in the sarcophagus, tuning into my heart and realizing, maybe for the first time, that I am lovable, truly lovable. And that it is okay in my life to have certain moments where I might be challenged or I might feel upset or even angry at stuff, but that doesn't mean I need to go away. That there is enough love in the human soul, in every single one, that if I am able to rather isolate myself from the human soul, but realize that we are so connected, every single one of us, connected by a powerful, benevolent force of nature that loves us like its children, then I can lean into group, I can lean into more community. It doesn't mean that I have to live with everyone and everything is going to be great. No, but at least I don't find myself isolated from the human reality, but deeply connected to the human experience as a divine, sacred one. So leaving the pyramid after having sung and truly toned something from within in such an exquisite way the first time, it wasn't even that I never had an experience where there was such sublime music. I've had that quite a few times. But what was different this time was there was an open channel at the center. It was somehow empty. There was something clear. This was the beginning before going then into the desert. And going into the desert, familiar, beloved. The desert, such a familiar sense of space, eternal space, endless, vast space. It was such a good feeling to finally come back to a place where the mind has no choice but to be still, to be empty. For every thought thunders in the mind, but the desert invites space, so much space. And sitting there watching the sunset, feeling again the bones and the stories of timeless ancestors and humans and animals and creatures and plants that have walked this earth, the desert like the bones, the timeless memory of everything that comes into life and everything that has to go. Inevitably, everything dies. These timeless sands. Timeless sands. And a very silent, long sunset. And so after that, I went back to the fire after a beautiful, delicious meal in silence and sat by the campfire. And this is where it got very interesting. Sitting with the Bedouin, drinking the local tea, connecting to the local herb, and singing, opening up that channel once again by the fire. And yet what came through was the stars suddenly opened. Like in the pyramid, the ceiling that was never there. It was always vast space. We live on a rock floating through space. And like that, the stars open like a very familiar known space. I have been there forever, and there I shall return. And the communication of the stars beginning to point towards the 9 bodies. Now, some of you listening may have heard of the 9 bodies. Some of you may have sat with me in the past and connected to the 9 bodies. What I share now will just be a very brief description, and I look forward in a future podcast to go much deeper into these 9 bodies. That night, opening to the stars, feeling my family, my true family connected in the stars, not just here on earth, but this very family feeling with the Creator, with the divine and the forces of nature. We are one family. So the 9 bodies became a very animated journey. Show me my cut body, show me my physical body. And at that moment, I saw my skeleton. I saw myself lying down as a skeleton. And when I lifted my arm, it was simply my bones that lifted, with, of course, the flesh and the blood circulating it, yet most of it is water. The bones that last through time. The physical matter, so much of it condensed in our bones. We are skeletons. Inside, we are skeletons. And so by imagining myself as a skeleton, I just felt the density of my matter as bone that could last for thousands and thousands of years if left in the ground or in the sands, intact. A slow thing to decay. Our bones, one of the bodies, lasts for a very long time on earth in matter. The second body being the Kemet, the shadow, the spirit world, not so much the unconscious world that we hear in psychology, but more the world of spirit that whispers around us all the time, influencing our choices, our emotions, what we think, what we feel. And when we start to listen to the spirits, we integrate our power, because the spirits actually want to support us to evolve into our true nature, powerful, integrated. We realize that they're not separate. Our shadow isn't separate. But when we listen and integrate, my God, they whisper. Not all of them whisper the note, the sound of our heart and soul, but some do. And when we listen to those, we grow immensely. We're able to integrate powers that we didn't know. The Kemet, the shadow body, is here as an opportunity to integrate our power and to become so attuned to listening to the realms around us, the spirit world, the shamanic world, and what lies on the other side of the veil. Now, the Ka body, a world of geometric shapes and sounds, colors, patterns. The Ka, the patterns that gives us the animation, that gives us our patterns, our personality, but also gives us the bones we have, the flesh, the intelligence of our system passed through time as a pattern. What makes a bird different to a bee, to a human, to a cow, to a fish? It's the pattern that is inherited through the DNA, through the waterline, through the DNA, a series of geometric patterns that gives rise to how our cells form. And that's why we become human in this form. And we also have a pattern to our personality, and our communication responds through patterns. That's why some people have personalities. They say things different to others. We all do. We have our unique imprint through our Ka. The Ka, though, the Ka is very connected to the physical body. But if it looks up and goes deeper and chooses to love, it will come face to face and feel the Ab. The Ab is what connects everything together through the heart hologram. All these different bodies unite together through the Ab, through the love pulse, the field of love. And the Ba wants to fly. The Ba has wings. The Ba, like a huge cosmic winged bird, or a bird here sitting on a tree singing its song. The Ba needs to fly. The Ba wants to relieve itself of the density of form, to soar to its stellar self. Now, before it goes to its stellar self, we have another body called the Sekam body, pulses of life force energy, vitality, the electromagnetic field rushing, buzzing, running through every single thing. The electromagnetic field, the power of the animus, of the animation of life itself. It is what gives everything energy. Sekem is energy. And then we have that body of us, the Ku, that lies in a star somewhere, because we are all a unique star, and our Ku body rests inside a star. We are stars. We are incarnated stars in matter, in flesh, in form, and yet one of our bodies always stays connected to our star stellar self. Now, before I get to the Ak, which is high up in the stars, beyond universes, let's talk about my most favorite body that came to me, which was for me before the most confusing body. Because I'd worked with all the bodies, but the Sahu, some teachers, some books would say the Sahu is in a way the dweller, the one that stays in negativity, and yet in some they would say the Sahu is what takes us to the stars. So what is the Sahu? So I asked the stars, show me the Sahu. The Sahu, my dear, is that which travels between all. It is the messenger between all. It is the storyteller. Yes, the storyteller. The Sahu is a storyteller. And if we feel into it, our stories can create the most magnificent experience of life when we say, wow, we are magnificent. Our life is a miracle. Gratitude oozes out of us. Our story is one of gratitude and miracle and power and creation. And no matter what happens, because usually people who go through these feelings of incredible miracle, it's because they've been through something hard and challenging. And yet, what a miracle life is. Wow, we have the power to co-create with life. It lies in our hands. It lies in the story we tell ourselves. It lies in the story we shape around us from the world. And so the Sahu can keep us very condensed into a very negative reality, or in a very materialist reality. Or if we allow the Sahu to rise to our stellar self, the part of us that lives in the star, we can write stories that live through time. Think about it. Every religion is a book. What is it? Stories. Stories shape up the human psyche. Stories shape civilization. Stories shape your life. So the Sahu is an invitation to write your star saga, your epic trilogies of magnificent creativity. It lies again in you. It lies in your capacity to choose that. That is the power also of your manifesting property. The Sahu can be a limiting factor. The Sahu can be that which takes you to rest for eternity in the stars. And personally, I received very clearly the message that I am not here to be a scientist or an expert in everything. I am here to share the stories. I am a storyteller. And just like these 9 bodies, I do not claim for this to be the living truth, nor for this to be fact, nor science. This is what was recorded from the ancient Egyptians, the 9 bodies. And this is a fleshed out, imaginal, beautiful, oracular moment I experienced that I share again as a story. To connect our human self to our star self, to our the highest part of us living in this eternal state of bliss. So I hope you enjoyed this sharing, intimate, personal, and yet I feel very transpersonal, almost universal share. And I hope that perhaps it sparked something in your own imagination, either to come to Egypt, either to have your own experience of the 9 bodies, or to even just become more aware of your sound and your story. With so much love. Until next time. Bye-bye.